Well now, hello my dear. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. It's time to leave the noise of the day behind. Settle into your bed, pull the blanket up, and rest your head. Grandpa is right here with you, with a gentle tale to guide you into the quiet of the night. You don't need to do anything at all. Just listen, softly, slowly, and let your eyes grow heavy. Tonight's story is just for you. So let's take a deep breath and let the dreaming begin. The tiny room under the stairs. There once was a house at the very edge of a sleepy village. It wasn't big or fancy, just old, wooden, and a little bit crooked. The windows creaked when the wind passed, and the floor whispered with every step. But deep inside that house, under the stairs, was a tiny door. Most people never noticed it. But one rainy afternoon, a little girl named Mina did. She was visiting her grandmother for the weekend and chasing her kitten, Pepper, when she saw something strange. A tiny golden doorknob hidden behind a dusty broom. Mina blinked. Was that always there? She reached out and turned the knob. The door swung open with a soft sigh. Inside was a room no bigger than a closet, and in the center, covered in cobwebs and quiet dust, sat a small wooden drawer. Just one. No handles, no label. But it felt important. Mina stepped inside. The rain tapped above her. The shadows waited. She touched the drawer, and in that moment, the house breathed. It wasn't loud, but it was real. The drawer trembled ever so slightly, and from inside came a voice, faint and papery like old parchment. You finally came back. Mina's eyes widened. Back, she whispered. The drawer pulsed softly beneath her fingers. You promised, the voice said gently. You said you'd remember me, but I've been waiting so long. A promise in paper. Mina stared at the trembling drawer. The voice, soft as old parchment, had called to her. It said she'd made a promise, but Mina had never been here before, had she? She knelt down and gently touched the drawer's edge. It opened on its own, slowly, carefully, as if it didn't want to startle her. Inside, there was no treasure, no jewels, no golden keys, just a small folded piece of paper, yellowed with time. Mina picked it up with both hands. It smelled like cedar and dust. She unfolded it gently. It was a drawing, crayons, smudged, childlike. It showed a house, this house, with crooked windows and big clouds above it. Next to the house was a little girl with black braids. She was smiling. At the bottom, written in wobbly handwriting, to my best friend, drawer. I won't forget you. Love, Mina, age 6. Her eyes widened. That's me, she whispered. She didn't remember drawing this. She didn't remember this house, but something inside her chest began to glow. A warm, flickering feeling like candlelight. The drawer gave a soft creak like a sigh of relief. You came back, the voice said again. But how could I forget? Mina asked. That's what happens when children grow, it replied. They forget the magic they made, the promises whispered to quiet things. Mina sat cross-legged on the floor, the paper in her lap. She looked around the tiny room, dusty, quiet, old, and felt something change, like it was waking up. Suddenly, the back wall of the little room shifted. A faint crack appeared, and from within came the scent of vanilla, wood smoke, and memories. You kept more than one promise, the drawer whispered. Now it's time to remember them all. The room that grew. The paper lay in Mina's lap, warm with memory, a picture drawn by her own hands long ago, when her fingers were smaller and her heart still full of magic. The secret room behind the drawer creaked softly. The wall that had cracked was now open, just wide enough for a little girl to slip through. Mina hesitated, then took a breath and stepped in. It was a long, narrow hallway made entirely of drawers, thousands of them, some large, some tiny, stacked from floor to ceiling like wooden honeycomb. Each one had a name carved into it: birds, laughter, rain boots, midnight whispers. The hallway stretched endlessly, glowing with soft golden light that seemed to come from nowhere. The air smelled of cinnamon, ink, and dreams. Mina walked slowly. A drawer popped open beside her. Inside, a single button shaped like a moon. She picked it up. Suddenly, a memory struck her like lightning. She was 5, running through the garden, her favorite blue coat flapping behind her. The moon button had fallen off, and she cried and cried until her mother sewed it back with golden thread. It was her lucky moon, she had said, and now here it was, waiting all these years, tucked safely in this quiet place. "This is where they go," the drawer voice said gently. "All the small things your heart once held." Mina's eyes sparkled. "All of them? Everyone you ever whispered to the dark or tucked beneath your pillow?" She looked around at the endless drawers. "Can I open more?" "Only the ones that are ready," the voice replied, and one by one little drawers began to click open, each holding a piece of her she had almost forgotten. A broken crayon that still smelled like wild strawberries, a tiny tooth wrapped in tissue paper, a silver marble that glowed in the dark, a paper star with a secret wish written on it. "I want to fly." Mina clutched them close to her chest. I remember everything." "Good," the drawer whispered, "because you'll need them for what comes next." The one drawer with no name. Mina moved gently down the glowing hall. Each drawer she passed seemed to hum softly, like it was dreaming. She opened the ones that felt warm, familiar, and each one gave her a piece of her childhood back. A giggle, a flashlight, a pressed flower from a summer long gone. She felt lighter, happier, like the girl she used to be was still inside her. But then she saw it, a drawer low on the wall, plain, unmarked, dusty. All the others had names, carved lovingly into the wood, but this one had none, and it felt cold. Mina knelt down. "Why doesn't this one have a name?" she asked. The voice didn't answer, not right away. Then, after a long silence, "Because some memories are locked to protect you." Mina reached for the drawer anyway. "Wait," the voice said softly. "What's in there isn't a toy or a wish. It's a shadow, one you buried deep." But Mina's fingers were already on the edge. The drawer creaked open, slowly. Inside was a small red ribbon, torn, faded, wrinkled. And when she touched it, the hallway around her shifted. The air turned heavy. Her chest tightened. A memory rose, sharp and sudden. She was 4 years old, she and her puppy Clover running through the field behind her grandmother's house. Clover always wore a red ribbon around his neck. That day, he chased a rabbit too far. Through the gate, past the road, there was a sound, then silence. She remembered crying, sitting by the window for days, waiting for him to come back. He never did. Her mother had taken the ribbon away, saying, "Let's not think about it too much." But she had thought about it. And then she forgot, or so she thought. Tears rolled down Mina's cheeks as she held the ribbon now. "I didn't mean to forget him," she whispered. I just didn't know how to hold the hurt." The drawer said nothing, but the ribbon suddenly grew warm in her hand, and the tiniest bark echoed through the hallway, playful and gentle, a wag of a tail in the shadows just once, then gone, but enough. "It's okay," the voice said. "Now you remember, and that's what matters." Mina gently closed the drawer, not to hide it again, but to keep it safe, to honor it, to make peace. And in that moment, the cold vanished. The hallway grew brighter. The drawers sighed together like a deep breath let go. The choice Mina stood in the glowing hallway, ribbon in her hand, heart full of memory. The drawers around her felt warmer now, alive, breathing, as though they were listening. Then, at the very end of the hallway, a drawer unlike any other began to glow, not golden, but deep, soft blue, like twilight before the stars arrive. It had no handle, no hinges, only a single word carved into its face. "Remember?" The voice returned, calmer than before. "You don't have to open this one, Mina." "What's inside?" she asked. "Everything, every joy, every sorrow, every forgotten dream, all at once." She felt the pull of it, strong and quiet, not like fear, but truth, the kind of truth that changes things. "If I open it," she asked, "what happens to me?" "You'll become whole again," said the voice, "but wholeness carries weight. Not everyone chooses it." She stood there a while, the blue light flickering on her skin like moonlight on water. Then she reached out and whispered, "I choose to remember." The drawer opened without a sound. From inside, a soft wind blew past her cheeks, carrying the scent of rain, earth, and starlight. The hallway vanished, and Mina stepped into a room as vast as the sky. Above her, countless stars floated, glimmering, drifting like fireflies. Each one pulsed gently, as if breathing. "These," the voice said, "are the moments you thought were gone forever." Mina reached up. One star drifted into her palm, and suddenly she was 5 again, laughing in a sunlit garden, her father spinning her around, her cheeks red from giggles, her hair caught in the breeze. She gasped. The moment passed. Another star fell into her hand. She was 8, building a fort of pillows, telling stories by flashlight. Her brother pretending to be a dragon. Another. She was 10, crying quietly into her pillow after her best friend moved away, wishing the stars would tell her if they missed her too. The stars were memories, but more than that, they were pieces of her, and now they were returning, filling the hollow spaces she hadn't even known were empty. Mina sat beneath the glowing sky, and for the first time in years, she felt complete. Mina sat beneath the stars that remembered her. Every glowing light in that sky was a part of her soul returned. Memories, hopes, joy, tears. She smiled, and then a door appeared, not loudly, just there, at the far edge of the star room, hidden behind strands of silver light. It was small, wooden, old, with a brass doorknob worn smooth by time. Carved into it were 3 words, "Take them home." Mina stood, hands slightly trembling. "Do I have to leave?" she asked softly. "No," said the drawer's voice. "But if you stay, you'll forget the world again. You'll sleep among stars and drift with dreams. Warm, yes, but distant." She turned toward the door. "And if I leave?" "You'll carry the stars inside you, all of them, the joy and the sorrow, the weight and the wonder." Mina looked up. The stars pulsed brighter, as if nodding. "I want to remember," she whispered, "all of it. I want to go home." and she stepped through the door. The world outside returned in a blink. Mina was back in the little room beneath the stairs, the drawer still open, but everything felt different. The air had shifted, her body tingled. In her heart, the stars still glowed, quiet, steady, strong. She stepped out of the tiny room and into the hallway of the old house. Dust motes danced in the air. The floor creaked just like before, but now every sound felt alive. She ran her fingers along the walls, remembering where she used to play hide and seek, where her grandpa once told her stories just like this one. She passed the living room, a blanket still folded over the old couch, the scent of cinnamon still hanging in the air. Everything had waited for her, even the drawer. "You never left me," she whispered, and she could feel it answer, not in words but in warmth. The house remembered, and now so did she. The next morning, Mina stood outside the old house. The rain had stopped. The sky was soft and gray. In her hands, she held the folded drawing, the one she made when she was 6. Next to her, the wind carried a whisper, a giggle, a memory. Inside her, the stars still shone. She wasn't just a girl anymore. She was a keeper of her own story, a protector of the forgotten. And as she walked back toward the world, toward her life, her friends, her future, she felt something new, peace. Because now she knew the magic we forget isn't gone. It's only waiting in drawers, in corners, in rain-soaked houses beneath the stairs, waiting to be remembered. The final promise. Mina stood in the morning light. The house behind her now felt like part of her. Every stair, every creak, every drawer. Not just wood and walls, but memory. She walked slowly to the old willow tree in the garden. Its branches reached toward the clouds, still dripping with raindrops from the night before. Beneath it sat an old bench. She climbed up onto it, her drawing still in hand, and there she did something small but powerful. She took out a new piece of paper from her coat pocket and began to draw. Not what she had remembered, but what she wouldn't let herself forget again. She drew her puppy Clover with his red ribbon flying, the hallway of drawers, each glowing like a lantern, the blue drawer with no handle, the stars floating in the room of memories, and herself, smiling, holding them all close. When she finished, she whispered softly, "I promised to keep remembering." She folded the drawing carefully, and then she walked back into the house, back to the drawer beneath the stairs. She opened it one last time and tucked the new drawing gently inside. "For the next little dreamer," she said with a smile, "so they'll know they're never really alone." And as she closed the drawer, a small breeze swept through the room, carrying the scent of wildflowers, old books, and moonlight. The drawer was quiet, but if you listened closely, you might hear it whisper, "Thank you." The dream in the drawer that night, Mina returned home to her own bed. It felt different now, not because the sheets had changed, but because she had. As she drifted into sleep, the stars she carried began to glow softly behind her eyes. And then she dreamed, but not like before. This dream felt real, deeper, older, truer. She was back in the drawer hallway, but this time the drawers were open, all of them. And from each drawer, a tiny light drifted upward. Not just her memories, other people's. She saw a boy's laughter from 1953, a grandmother's lullaby from 1922, a forgotten birthday, a lost friend, a secret wish made under a tree. So many lights, so many stories. Mina realized the drawer wasn't just hers. It belonged to all of us, and she, somehow, had been chosen to protect it. "But why me?" she whispered, and the stars answered with a warmth that filled her chest. "Because you listened." Part 12. The keeper of drawers. When Mina awoke, something was waiting on her nightstand. A small silver key, delicate, beautiful, and tied to it was a tag. It read, "For the keeper of forgotten things." She held it in wonder, heart fluttering. Later that day, she returned to the old house. No one else had gone near it. The neighborhood still thought it was abandoned, but Mina knew better. She stepped inside. The drawer beneath the stairs was still there, and now it had a small keyhole. With a breath both nervous and brave, she slid the silver key in and turned. Click! The drawer didn't open. The wall did. It swung open like a door. Behind it, a spiral staircase, lit by the soft golden glow of memories. Down she went, one careful step at a time, and at the bottom, a great round library of drawers, hundreds, thousands, stretching far beyond what any eye could see. It was beautiful and waiting. Mina spent hours, maybe days, in that hidden drawer library. She opened drawers filled with strangers' dreams, danced with the memories of people long gone, laughed, cried, whispered thanks. But before she left, she found an empty drawer. It had no label, no lock, only a piece of paper inside and a pencil. Mina sat down and began to write. To the one who finds this next, you are not alone. There is magic in your memories, even the hard ones, even the ones that make your chest ache. Don't run from them. Hold them gently. You are more than your sorrow. You are a keeper now, too. She folded the letter, placed it back in the drawer, and smiled. "Good night, little dreamer," she said, just like Grandpa used to say. Then she turned and walked back up the stairs, into the world, but never truly leaving the drawer behind. Memory that wasn't hers. Mina thought she had seen all the drawer had to show, but memory is a river. One evening, as clouds gathered low over the house and the rain tapped gently on the window, Mina returned to the secret staircase, the silver key still warm from where it always rested against her chest. Down the stairs she went, only this time something had changed. The lights flickered in a rhythm she didn't recognize, like a pulse that didn't belong to her. And as she stepped into the great memory chamber, a single drawer stood open, waiting. She approached slowly, noticing it was carved from a darker wood, unlike the others. There was a soft hum, but no glow. Inside was only a mirror. Mina reached out, expecting to see herself, but she didn't. In the glass was a different child, older than her, a boy with storm-colored eyes and a blue wool cap. He sat on a bed in a tiny room, clutching a book and looking out a rain-streaked window just like hers. He didn't speak, he didn't move, but he felt close. Mina's breath caught in her throat. Who was he? And why was his memory inside her drawer? She leaned in closer, and the mirror suddenly shimmered, then pulled her in. The library vanished. The air shifted, and when Mina opened her eyes, she was standing in his room. His story was about to begin. Shall we step into his world tomorrow, my little dreamer? Yes, tomorrow night. Grandpa will be waiting, and the rain will be too.